Welcome to Finding Holiness, where we delve into timeless Torah wisdom, revealing the sacred in everyday moments. Join us on a journey to elevate your spirituality and discover holiness in every aspect of life. I'm your host, Rabbi David Kadosh, and together, let's embark on a path of spiritual exploration. I hope you enjoy this next episode. All right, so, new Masechet in Seder Nashim. We are going to study the last Masechet in Seder Nashim. We're going to jump right to the end, and the reason is because we don't have much time till we change the clock, so we can't choose something long. And hopefully we'll finish this one in time. But we should be able to finish this one in time. We're going to begin with Masechet Kiddushin, the last Masechet in Seder Nashim. And Bezrat Hashem, we'll go back to all the ones that we missed. Of course, Kiddushin deals primarily with the halachot of Kiddushin, which is that of marriage, the procedure that binds a man and a wife, a man and a woman together, making them husband and wife. Before the Torah was given, a man would meet a woman. They would decide that they would decide to live together, and that's how they became husband and wife. Done. But the Torah said, no, there's other ways not other ways. We have to designate a woman. How? Ki kach ishisha, when a man takes a woman. And that's how the Mishnah is going to begin. How, in fact, can a man take a woman and acquire her as a wife? And again, we'll speak primarily with the laws of Kiddushin, even though Kiddushin is the first stage of betrothal, but nevertheless, there's Nisuin that comes afterwards, but that is they're legally binded as a husband and wife. So the Mishnah begins, Perak Aleph, Mishnah Aleph, Haisha niknet b'shalosh derachim. A woman is acquired, b'kiddushin, by her husband in one of three ways. V'kona et atzma b'shtei derachim. And she acquires herself back, meaning she becomes free from her husband in one of two ways. So, how are the three ways that a woman is acquired, or how can she undergo kiddushin? Niknet bechesef bishtar ubebiyah. She's acquired through money, which means the husband gives her some money or an object of value, or through a kiddushin document. This is not the ketubah that we have, but a kiddushin document that basically says, "Behold, harei at mekudeshet li," but on a document and signed, or through biyah's cohabitation with two witnesses that saw them go in the room and for a certain amount of time, and that is how it's. Those are the three ways that a woman can be acquired with kiddushin. Now, how much money is required when we say bechesef? How much money is required? It's a machlok in the Mishnah. Bechesef, with regards to kiddushin with money, Bet Shammai Omrim. Shammai says bedinar uvshaveh dinar. He has to give her 1 dinar or something worth a dinar. A dinar was a common coin usually made out of silver. Beit Hillel says, no, you don't need that much. Bifruta uvshaveh pruta. It's with a pruta or something worth a pruta. So pruta is the smallest coin possible that we have. V'kamahi pruta, in case you're wondering how much it's worth, you're not going to get a denomination such as dollars, but rather you will get echad mishmona ba'isar ha'Italki, 1/8 of an Italian isar. That's how much a pruta is worth. Not quite sure what that equals in actual modern day terms, but some say it's $1, some say it's a quarter, a very, very small amount. Vekonat atzma, how does she get herself back? How does she acquire herself back from her husband? Beget uvmitat habal, through a bill of divorce, it's called a get, or if her husband was to die, then she acquires herself back. Hayevama niknet beviyah, the Yevama who we spoke many weeks about in the last Masechet, we learned is acquired or married through cohabitation. Vekonat atzma b'chalitza uvmitat hayabam, and she acquires herself either through chalitza, which means that the husband doesn't want to perform the yibum, or through the death of the yabam. So that's all Mishnah Aleph. Mishnah Bet, speaking about the act of kinyan and how you acquire. So the Mishnah Bet talks about how an Eved Ivri, a Hebrew servant, is acquired. Eved Ivri nikneh bechesef ubishtar. He is acquired through money or with a document. So a guy either pays, now you're mine, or the document, behold, you are my slave. Vekonet atzmo beshanim. He acquires himself back with years, completing 6 years of service as is stipulated in the beginning of Parashat Mishpatim, or by Yovel, or at the beginning of Yovel. Yovel is the Jubilee year, 50 years after 7 cycles of Shemitah. Or the last thing is Giron Kesef, by deducting money, meaning he deducts the value of his purchase price from the years that he served, and he pays a balance to the master. So he gets extra money, pays whatever I'm owed for you. Here it is. Now I'm free. Now, Yetara Alav Amaha Ivriya, a Hebrew maidservant, has one advantage over a male maidservant, because not only does she go out the same way as we just listed it with the male servant, but rather Shekonat Atzma Besimanin, she also acquires herself back with signs of maturity. If a girl was taken as a servant, a maidservant, when she was 8 or 9 years old, the moment she hits 12, then she becomes free. Hanirtza, lastly, a nirtza is a slave that chooses to remain with his master after 6 years. Again, Parashat Mishpatim talks about this. Hanirtza nikne b'ritziyah, he's acquired through making a hole in his ear. The master takes the nail, boom, like again in Parashat Mishpatim, makes a hole in the servant's ear. V'konet atzmo bayovel uvmidata adon, and he acquires himself back either at the beginning of Yovel after 50 years, or if the master dies. The master dies, it's another way. Let's do one more Mishnah. Mishnah Gimel. What about a Kenani slave? A Kenani slave is a non-Jewish slave. Evet Kenani nikne bekesef ubishtar ubahazaka. A Kenani slave is acquired through money or a document or the act of ownership, meaning that the master makes him do something that is typical for a slave to do. Vekonet atzmo bekesef al yedei acherim. He acquires himself back through money given by others, meaning somebody else pays the master to free him. It has to be done only by someone else. The slave cannot pay for himself because everything that he owns belongs to the master, even his money. So the money has to come from somewhere else. Ubishtar al yedei atzmo, and another way that he can free himself is by accepting a document, a freedom document from the master. Okay, so the master gives him a document, and that is how basically you are now free, and that's it. Divrei Rabbi Meir, these are the words of Rabbi Meir. Chachamim omrim, Chachamim say, bekesef al yedei atzmo. He can even go free through the money that he gives himself to his master. Ubishtara yedei acherim. So according to Chachamim, says it is possible for the slave to own money, and he can take his money and pay off the master. But ubishtar yedei acherim, and he can also go free through a document that other people accept on his behalf that comes from the master, even if the slave doesn't know about it. So not only, according to Chachamim, not only can the slave accept this document knowing about it, but even if it's accepted by somebody else, then that's fine. Again, the slave can pay his freedom provided that the money comes from other people. That someone gives money to the slave, and now take that money and go buy yourself out. Okay, then you're able to achieve cherut that way. Okay, we'll stop here. We'll continue Bezat Hashem next week.